test 1 2 3. This is the podium microphone. Mic check 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4. Good morning. Good morning to our city staff, members of the public, executives, Mr. Security Guard, and everyone else in attendance here in the board's hearing room. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer public comment or agenda item commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on. Hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. If there's any member of the public who wishes to offer public comment or agenda item commentary, please raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute, identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on, and then I'll call upon you when we reach your item. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Audit LA. Good morning.
Good morning, TJ. And good morning to the security guard. He's a nice guy. I want to have public comment and all agenda items, please.
Very well. We're down for public comment and multiple agenda
Yep.
items.
Thank you.
Thank you. Time is 9:47. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 13 minutes. Thank you. Good morning once again to our attendees who are here joining us in the board hearing room. If there's any member of the public who's not already done so and wishes to offer public comment or agenda item commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on and hand it to me. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do see an additional hand raised. I'm going to ask Laura FM if you'd please unmute, identify yourself, and which item you'd like to speak on. Good morning.
Morning, TJ. All items, please. Agenda items, minutes, and general public comment.
Very well. I have you down for public comment and multiple agenda item commentary this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. It is 9:53. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 7 minutes. Thank you.
John? Do you like my paperwork? I gave you guys stuff. All it's gonna take is for me to walk in that courthouse and file it.
And Vice President Chavez, we are now in record mode and ready to begin the meeting. And we're ready to begin the meeting whenever you're ready, Vice President Chavez.
All right, good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, June 24th. Mr. Knight, can you please take roll and establish quorum?
Yes, thank you, Vice President Chavez. Good morning, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Cardenas are present. President Kang is out on city business, and Commissioner Mitchell is out of the meeting today. We do have a quorum. We are joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. Vice President Chavez, we have in the room, we have one public commenter, 3 single item commenters for item 14. And on the virtual platform, we have 3 public commenters and 2 multiple agenda item commenters. We have no neighborhood council commentary this morning. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with the general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment. Segment of each regular meeting testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We shall start with in-person public comment, and first person up is Audit LA.
Vice President Chavez, I believe Audit LA is on the virtual platform.
Oh.
We've had one person fill out 3 different public comment items, which is against board rules, so it's your discretion how you want to handle that.
Okay, it just says Audit Laura. Is that the first person? Okay.
Audit LA is in the meeting, however, Audit LA is on the virtual platform. So whoever filled that out.
Okay, whoever filled that out, you can, it's your turn. If you are Audit/Laura, then come on down.
Yeah. United States versus Bagdasarian, page 9812. Shoot the nig, lest this country be fucked for another 4 years because never in the history has a black person done anything right. In Watts versus the United States of America, I have got to report for my physical this morning coming. I am not going. If they ever make me carry a fucking rifle, the first man I want to get my sight on is that LBGA or LBG or LBJ guy. But again, the language of the political arena is often abusive. Thank you for the record.
Okay, with that, we will go to the virtual platform.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez, and we'll start with Audit LA, followed by Lara FM.
Good morning. I just want to keep asking and requesting that you not give Scientology the permit for 4th of July. Let's recap why. Besides the over 3 years that I've been watching, they've never abided by one permit, but they actually didn't get one permit and still had a 3-day festival regardless. They thumbed their nose at you guys. So I am asking still to please enforce that. City Attorney, Ms. Choi, can you please put that in for enforcement? They should be held accountable for hijacking a city street without a permit. What they should not do is get a permit as a reward for bad behavior. That's not how it works in real life. And I'm asking for fines. I'm asking for criminal prosecution. They hijacked it left the city vulnerable because there was no hold the city harmless, okay, because there was no permit. So the city, you have with the next 2 years, you have no
Thank you.
idea if
That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Lara FM, followed by Gigi.
So I want to echo the last commenter out of LA because yes, years ago, L. Ron Hubbard Way was made what it was so that they can infiltrate and recruit people into Scientology. Look at how the whole structure of children and the Sea Org children and the elderly in the Sea Organization of Scientology, we are the callers. We are the people that are asking you to please stop giving them these permits. Every single permit they've had is a destructive human trafficking manipulative permit, or they violate it. They're using it for recruitment tactics, or they violate it even if they do use it to have other culture or other people with other sales or stands. What they're doing is recruiting people that are vendors. So stop giving Scientology any permits. Don't allow them to shut down L. Ron Hubbard Way anymore. They violated that by shutting it down 3 weeks ago without a permit approved at all. And now they're slinging all these
Thank
little
you.
ways and
That's
trying.
60 seconds, and we'll move next to Gigi. Gigi, would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
So, in April 1967, the County Street Naming Committee, of which the City of Los Angeles is a member, adopted guidelines on street naming, which have been used by the agencies in the County of Los Angeles since that time. The proposed name of North Berendo name change appears to conflict with one of the guidelines, which states that names of existing streets should be used on new streets which are continuous alignment with or are continuations of existing streets. It's the intent of this guideline to provide some continuity for location purposes, particularly for the providers of emergency services such as police, fire, and paramedics. In this regard, Berendo Street's the second street west of Vermont from Los Feliz Boulevard on the north of Washington Boulevard on the south, a distance of 5 miles. Changing the name of one block of Berendo Street would disrupt the continuity and could create unnecessary confusion at a time when it's most critical in an emergency. This is from the city engineer. So why was the name even changed in the first place? It goes against the county
Thank you.
rules.
That's 60 seconds. And that concludes general public comment this morning. Vice President Chavez.
Okay, we will now close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to 1 minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items you will speak on when you are called. I don't see any in-person multiple agenda items, so we'll go straight to the virtual platform.
Thank you. The public comment, general public comment period has been closed. So the protocol, if you wish to speak, for those who wish to speak on multiple agenda item commentary is not changed. It is still that you would have to fill out a speaker card and note the items that you wish to comment on or the words multiple agenda item commentary. Audit Ale, please unmute and you'll have up to 3 minutes to offer your multiple agenda item commentary.
Good morning. Okay, I want to start with 9 and 10 about labor agreements. Okay, I imagine a story in my head where you're making a labor agreement with a company. I hope you guys are, making sure they're legit companies that pay fair wages. Because I'm like, what if this company is owned by a Scientology whale? That's people in Scientology that make a lot of money. I'm not using, that's their terminology. And they hire Sea Org members, okay, and you're doing this agreement, and it comes time to pay the bill, and they tell the city, oh, you owe this much, and you're like, well, that's kind of low. You have a lot of employees, it's got to be higher than that, and they're like, no, they're Sea Org members. They make $47 a week for $100 of work a week. And then you're saying, well, wait a minute, that doesn't, you mean at $47 an hour, right? Because people working on the street make maybe $47 an hour. They're like, no, $47 a week. We get, that's a huge bargain. These are religious workers, okay? And so they're like, but this is public works. This is not a religious work. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. They're religious workers. So we work, whatever we do, they get paid religious wages. Okay, so that's ridiculous, right? That would be utterly ridiculous on 9 and 10. But you do this every single time you give them a permit, whether it's an R permit or a special events permit. That's exactly what's happening. The people working on public works, sidewalks, streets, everything for maintaining their R permit, which means they have to maintain that street, or the special event permits where they have to, build up, tear down, and work it, are all done by religious workers who make $47 a week. Okay, for over $100 hours a week. That's public works events, public works permits, R permits. How is that a religious experience? How is that ministry, right? Because that $47 stipend is for people who are doing religious works. The government acknowledges that there's sometimes maybe monks or priests, or they're willing to take a vow of poverty for their faith. But what are they doing, right? They're ministering, they're doing ministerial work, they're doing religious work. But this city allows Scientology to get away with paying these people, even on your film. You also do film, all the film permits, all the people basically working on that too. Sea Org members, $47. Okay, if they do a film permit with Tom Cruise in it, Everyone that supports Tom Cruise, all his workers, all his people, that's his staff, they're Sea Org members. They make $47 a week. Yes, John Travolta's crew, and so does their assistants. Everyone that supports them, they're Sea
Thank
Org
you.
members.
That's 3 minutes.
Is that a religious?
And we'll move next to Laura FM.
Well, Audit LA just took it all right out of my mouth. I just want to really, really echo that. I also want to echo if we spoke about this kind of stuff to the neighborhood councils and to the people that it concerns, then you would find out in the neighborhoods in the cities where Scientology has any kind of building, whether it's a front hidden group, like, their CCHR, which has so many deaths and child pedophilia connected to it, and also just abuse of drugs and all of that. But if you had somebody who actually, if it wasn't just people who were born and raised in it, or somebody like Audit LA who's advocating for the victims of Scientology, but you actually had people who are in positions who volunteer to help the city and to help the people in the community not feel afraid of entities like Scientology, whether it's a church or not, whether it has the status or not, they cannot do illegal things. So, whatever the penalty is, then do that. And make, if the penalty isn't working, that you are enforcing, such as whatever it is that whatever fee you give them, they continue to do it, then cancel them out. They cannot do this. So the neighborhood councils need to know about this. It needs to become a way bigger issue. It already is a big issue, but you guys are afraid. There's something going on where there's this long-term brainwashing, and trust me, I know all about it, by Scientology, where you feel afraid or that you can't do anything about it. Or is it because Karen Bass hasn't ordered it? It's like everybody has a job, everybody's volunteering. We're asking to do this. We're not attacking. We want this to be done so there's actual change to Los Angeles. So please let the neighborhood councils know. Also put it on the minutes that when people are calling in, one sentence line, or people showing up in person that weren't able to come in every single time you guys have this, please let them know to put it on the minutes and change that so that it's on the record for people to see that we do not want Scientology to have any more permits. Whether they are frauding a religious status or not, there's a separation between church and state, and they are using and frauding that. So please make that known. Let it be known loud and clear on your guys' minutes, on the board, on all neighborhood councils. Let it be known that this is the year, then this is the year that we take down Scientology's infiltration of the city. And part of that is by you guys accepting what you're doing to allow their infiltration and their abuses to continue, their recruitment to continue, because you're not notifying or you're not interacting with neighborhood councils. That's an important thing. That keeps the whole community together. People notifying and talking. If you want people that are interested in on the
Thank you.
neighborhood council.
That's 3 minutes. And that concludes the multiple agenda item commenters on the virtual platform. However, we do have one in-person multiple agenda item commenter, Vice President Chavez.
Okay, Mr. Herman, you're up.
Wow. Item 9, CD8, Uncle Tom Pancake Sambo Marquiqui wants a labor agreement for a project. But here's the problem. Why do Latinos or minority blacks have to wait till 2030 to make $30 fucking for this type of project labor agreement? What, are they no better than the rest of you? Sitting there making maybe 50, 100,000 a year, doing shit, making mistakes, costing the public not thousands but millions of dollars in contingency? What fucking dream world, huh? I wished I lived in that dream world. Like, look, Ernesto, look what that dickhead Alberto Carvalho has done. He's brought the FBI into LAUSD, my former employer, after 25 fucking years of service there, huh? Now he knows what it's like, Jose Luis Huizar, to have the FBI pointing a finger at a fucking criminal there. We know what he did. We know what he did. I mean, If half of you in here don't understand that fucking bullshit, this motherfucking wetback from Florida comes to California to steal your fucking money. What a great plot. What a great scam. You build a website that's supposed to be for children, Mommy Chavez, and you get shit. That's why Latinos and blacks are always in trouble, because we get shit. Same fucking bullshit. So fuck Marchese and District 8. I can't wait to see the FBI put handcuffs on his dumb black ass. Now to item number 10, transportation. I want my fucking street back from Scientology. I pay taxes in California like the rest of us in here. No fucking white church criminal organization is gonna bully us to keep a street, John Chavez, Cardenas, right? So get the fucking street back. It belongs to the fucking public. I want to walk from that fucking street to Kaiser for my fucking mental therapy like the rest of you, right? In addition to that, why did they cancel transportation this morning? I'll tell you why. Because stupid motherfuckers don't get up early enough to catch a train or a bus like the rest of us who work. Oh no, I like the convenience of a car. Oh yeah, it's better for me to drive around in a car versus to wait half an hour or an hour because my fucking bus is late. So get the fucking people mover moving. Do your work. Infrastructure is important. That's why America is fucked, because we keep listening to a bunch of fucking morons that fucked up this country.
That's 3 minutes.
We will now close multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting, and we'll move forward with the approval of the minutes for June 12th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
We'll now move on to our first order of business, which is opening of the bids for the Avalon Boulevard Improvements Project, 56th Street to Manchester Avenue Complete Streets Program.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. This morning, I'm joined by Board of Public Works Secretariat Staff Matthew Castellanos as we open bids for item number 1. Thank you. And the first bid is from Toro Enterprises Incorporated. Toro Enterprises Incorporated's total bid amount is $26,632,507.70. $26,632,507.70. The second bid this morning is from Axiom Group. Axiom Group's total bid amount is $22,957,274.65. $22,957,274.65. Thank you. Third bid is from Access Pacific Incorporated. Access Pacific Incorporated's total bid amount is $21,534.391.5 $21,534.391.05. The next bid is from Griffith Company. Griffith Company's total bid amount is $24,997,300. $24,997,300. And the next bid this morning is from PALP Incorporated, DBA XL Paving. PALP Incorporated, DBA XL Paving's total bid amount is $23,648,978.48. $23,648,978.48. Thank you, Matthew. And the final bid this morning is from Sully Miller Contracting Company. Sully Miller Contracting Company's total bid amount is $19,789,084.50. $19,789,084.50. And that concludes this morning's bid opening for item number 1.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to accept the bids?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion to accept the bids by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of accepting the bids for item number 1, starting
Aye.
with you, President Pro Tem Grant and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved and will move forward forthwith.
Next item of business is consent items number 2 and 3. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve consent items 2 and 3, moved by President Pro Tem Grant and seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of the consent items 2 and 3, starting with you, Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and these items are approved and will move forward forthwith.
Okay. We are going to take items out of order and go to item number 14. I see we have public comment cards on that item. We're going to hear the presentation from staff report, and then we'll go to the public comment on that item. So we'll hear from the Bureau of Engineering on the Los Angeles Convention Center expansion.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Richard Louis. I am a Deputy City Engineer with the Bureau of Engineering, here to present the monthly progress update for the Convention Center project. I am joined by Jennifer Halstad, our project executive, as well as members from BCA who will present. I'll let them introduce themselves when they come up to present. Before I begin, I'll also mention that in previous updates, the board had asked for an update on how the design build contractor is planning to meet BIP and PLA targets. The developer has put together a presentation and will present right after BCA presents on the status of their current target. And then the PWJV, the joint venture contractor, will come up and give a presentation as well, just to give you some information. So we have submitted a report, and because this has gone on for several months, I'll skip over the general updates on the project and go straight into the report. This report has, at the beginning, some pictures we'd love to highlight for you. So this first picture we're showing here is an aerial view of the site. You can see most of the area is dirt. We've done a lot of work to work on demolishing some of the area so that we can have a wide open area for the new construction. Some of the major activities, as mentioned last month, are the continuation of the installation of the auger cast pile. So you can see some of those activities in this aerial view. If we go on to the next page, one of the new elements of the project is to create a new central utility plant. The CUP, as they call it, centrally utility plant, will house equipment that will allow for the heating and cooling of the building, as well as some other utilities. In this picture, you see that we have finished that auger cast pile for the cup area and have now started on the walls of the central utility plant. As we move forward, in this next slide, there are two pictures. On the left-hand side, there is a picture showing the West Hall, and at the very top of this picture, there is an area that's been removed, the exterior facade. They call that the eyebrow. So the eyebrow of the West Hall has been removed. And then there's another picture showing what they call the upper deck of the West Hall. I don't know if some of you may have been at the groundbreaking of this project, but there was a big ceremony that was held on a upper deck that was elevated. That upper deck has now fully been removed. As we continue, we are now pivoting and turning to the South Hall. A portion of the South Hall, a triangular portion of the South Hall, will be demolished as part of this project and then will be reconstructed as part of the expansion project. So you can see in the left-hand side of the picture that we have removed some of that exterior facade and architectural finishes. We are working on removing the roof portion of that triangular piece and are now ready to begin some of the demolition of the structural steel of that triangular portion. Underneath that triangular portion used to exist an existing fire command center. So because that triangular portion will be demolished, the fire command center needs to be relocated. And that's what you see on the right-hand side of the page. There's a masonry wall that is for the new location of the fire command center, which will be within West Hall, and those masonry walls are complete. What we're trying to show here is that construction is happening. It's a busy site and a lot is happening. We're getting through demo. We're finishing up pile and foundation work. Very soon in the upcoming months, we expect that some of the structural steel will begin to go up, and that's when you see a lot of changes on the above the ground. So it's very exciting, the work that is going on the project. With that, we'll turn to an executive summary of what's happening on the project. As of the date of this project of 6/5/2026, overall, we are on track on spending, on track on schedule, and on track overall. The April 2026 monthly schedule update shows no delay to Olympics readiness, and that schedule was received and is currently under review. We have not used any of our city-owned allowances for a relief event delay. Only 4 of the 28 adverse weather delays have been utilized, and there is no float. We are currently not behind schedule. We're not ahead of schedule. We are right on schedule. Some other key activities. There is a storm drain that is needed to be relocated because the storm drain would have been in conflict with some of our foundations. So that's one of the next key activities. Going below that, we continue to work with the mayor's office to discuss a phasing plan for this project. There are some elements within the existing building that are not functioning properly, and those elements need to be corrected. But this phasing strategy allows for the expansion portion of the building to continue to move forward while we put together the plan to address the facilities that in the existing building that need to be addressed. So we did meet with the mayor's office, and that phasing plan does continue to be moved forward. As I mentioned before about the Fire Command Center, there are some permits still related to that are undergoing authorities having jurisdiction review and approval, but those are moving forward. And DWP circuits 1 through 3, these are new power circuits that need to come to the convention center that will power the new expansion. That work has commenced. On the right-hand side of this dashboard, we talk a little bit about the budget and the allowances and change orders. Currently, similar to last month, we have executed 4 allowance orders for the amount of $58 million, and there are no change orders executed to date. If you turn to the next page, we did want to give information on relief event notices and relief event claims that have been received on the project. I should note that this project agreement requires the contractor very early on to submit relief event notices, and then within a certain timeline to follow that up with a relief event claim. Just because we received a relief event notice does not mean that it will turn into a claim. It's just part of the requirements of the project agreement and is actually beneficial to the project because many times projects have these sort of issues that are left to the very end of the project. And then at the very end of the project, you're discovering claims that are being submitted that could have been discussed much earlier on. And so that's a benefit of the project agreement, highlighting the requirement for notices and claims to be submitted in a timely manner. With that said, on the left-hand side, you see that there are 17 notices of relief events that have been submitted. 8 of those are pending, and then 9 of those have been converted into a claim. So then you see a little arrow going from the left-hand side up to the right-hand side. That's where you get the 9 relief event claims that have been submitted, and all 9 of those claims are open as of the date of this report. None have been rejected, and none have been converted to change orders. To give a sense of what type of notices and what type of claims we are getting, we have a pie chart on the upper pie chart on the top of the page. It talks about the categories of notices, and the pie chart on the bottom talks about the categories by claims. And you can see the different categories listed there. As we advance, we do continue to give you a high-level summary of key activities for this schedule. And then moving forward again, we then move into the BIP and PLA targets, which I'll turn it over to BCA.
Good morning. My name is Ian Monte, representing the Department of Public Works, Bureau of Contract Administration's Office of Contract Compliance, and I'm going to discuss this project's compliance with the Department of Public Works Project Labor Agreement, specifically the targeted hiring hours requirements. So for those that aren't aware, the Department of Public Works Project Labor Agreement, affectionately known as the PLA, which is how I'm going to refer to it for the rest of this presentation, has 3 targeted hiring requirements. The first is at least 30% of all of the total construction hours must be done by city residents. The second is at least half or 50% of all of the apprentice hours on the project must be done by a local apprentice in a bona fide apprenticeship program. And again, that's a local apprentice that is a city resident. And last but not least, at least 10% of the total work hours must be done by a local resident that is classified as a transitional worker. And that is someone that has different barriers to employment in their background, including but not limited to being a veteran, someone that is impacted by the justice system, or documented homeless. So specifically with this project, for this current reporting period, the percentage-wise, the project is exceeding the local hire requirements with 35% on that 30% goal. The project is still working diligently to achieve both local apprentice, the 50% goal, they're at 44%, and the 10% transitional requirement, which is currently at 8%. Getting a little bit more into the weeds, specifically, there are 229,982 total work hours on the project as of this reporting period. There's a typo in this report. The actual number of local hours is 81,444, not 148,548. That's my fault. So again, 81,444, which constitutes that 35% percentage. The transitional hours are 17,252, which constitutes that 8%. And the total number of apprentice hours on the project is 36,955, of which 20,620, or 44%, have been done by local apprentices. Giving just a little bit more context to the workforce on the project, as of the reporting period, there are 56 verified contractors which performed that 229,000, almost 230 hours, of which those 56 contractors submitted 904 certified payrolls, and they have employed 969 total workers. Of that 969 total workers, 284 of these workers, or 29% of the workforce, are local. There are 145 apprentices on the project, of which 55 are local apprentices, which represents 38% of the apprentice workforce. Of that 145 apprentices, 36 are first period apprentices, which means this is their either first opportunity with a construction career as an apprentice, or this is one of their first opportunities. Of that 36 first period apprentices, 20 are first period local apprentices. And last but not least, there are 67 transitional workers, or 7% of the total workforce currently employed on this project. And that concludes my report.
Good morning. My name is Patricia, and I'm from the Bureau of Contract Administration, Office of Contract Compliance, and I'll be presenting the Business Inclusion Program Pledged Subcontractor Participation Progress. For the Minority Business Enterprise, or MIBE, the anticipated percentages is 18%. For the minority business enterprise, the percentage is 4%. For the small business enterprise, the anticipated percentage is 25%. For the disabled veteran business enterprise, the anticipated percentage is 3%. And for the local business enterprise, the anticipated percentage is 20%. And for the emerging business enterprise, the anticipated percentage is 3%. Please note that these percentages were listed in the project agreement with APCLA and the city. Moving on to the pledged amounts. The pledged amounts for minority business enterprises is 0.78%. From what was the dollar amount is 15.6 million, and that was from 10. That was from 10.9 million since the numbers were reported. For women business enterprises, the dollar amount is 7.2 million. From the 4.8 million that was reported in last month. For the small business enterprise, the current amount or dollar amount for pledged is 24.4 million, as compared to the 20 million that was reported last month. As far as the disabled veteran business enterprises, the pledged amount is still the same, 5.9 million. And for the local business enterprise, still the same as well. And the emerging business enterprise, there was an increase from 3.9 million to 8.4 million. For the verified amount, these are calculations that are based only on the special research and investigation approved subcontractors. These figures may change if PWJB and their subcontractors fail to update their Schedule A, as some approved subcontractors are missing. These numbers are from 600K from last month's report. It increased to 5.7 million in verified in minority business enterprises. For women business enterprises, from 825K or 1,000, there was an increase to 4.3 million in verified. For small business enterprises, there was an increase from 14.9 million to 15.9 million in verified subcontractor amounts. For local business, still the same. Disabled veterans, still the same. For emerging business enterprise, there was an increase from 1.9 million to 2.3 million. And then for the achieved amounts, there is also an increase for 3 certifications. First, minority business enterprise, from 200K to 2.3 million. And from women business enterprise, from 431K to 1.3 million. And from local business enterprises, well, actually, I'm sorry. from local business enterprises from 27 million to 53.9 million. And from emerging business enterprise, there was an increase from 19,000 to 241,000. So there's an improvement in achieved amounts. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to bring up our design builder, PWJV, Bart Bodway and Brianna Weaver, who's going to present a little bit from their company, their strategy to continue to improve PLA and BIP targets.
Good morning. And thank you very much for allowing us to spend some time here and give you guys an update. My name is Bart Bodway. I'm the project executive for the PCL WebCore joint venture.
And good morning. My name is Brianna Weaver. I'm the Economic Impact Manager for the PWJV. I just want to thank the board for having us. Vice President Chavez, appreciate your direction to invite us back to provide additional contextual information on our progress, our approach, and opportunities remaining on the project.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
So a couple things just quick before we get started. Sorry, this is a little awkward. So just to confirm. Yep, we're good. So just wanted to confirm that we do understand and view the economic impact kind of component of this project is more than just a compliance exercise. You know, we understand that giving opportunities to the local workforce as well as small and disadvantaged businesses is very important. And so together, then you know, years down the road here, we can all look back and look at this world-class facility. So, and then secondly, just to acknowledge our BOA and BCA and you know their teams and leadership. You know, we've spent a lot of time together over the last year, and I know Brianna and her team have been working more than a year trying to pull all this stuff together with Patty and all of those teams. So greatly appreciate that with the collaboration, the understanding of you know, the challenges that we all face, and just the teams and the leaderships I guess want to work through some of these issues. So we appreciate that very much, and thank you to those teams. So let's get going. What's that? Yep, that was it.
All right. So appreciate everyone's time. I'm going to get into some of the context that we're here to present for. To just kind of contextualize what we're about to present, we're 8 months into a 43-month project. So relatively early. This incorporates the Olympic pause as well. If we were to account for non-work or the non-work months, it would be 36 months that we are working towards, 8 out of 36. So on the next slide, we'll get into the business inclusion piece. This slide just contextualizes exactly what these percentages equate to in amount. So I'll just highlight one of them out of the 6, that's small business enterprise. 25%, that's nearly $500 million reinvested back into small businesses. I know that you all are familiar with the cost of your second largest project, the 6th Street Bridge. And so that's a few, I would say maybe $10 to $15 million short of that project's total contract amount in one of the 6 goals on this project. So contextualizing these robust aspirational goals that we are excited to continue working towards maximizing participation on. On the next slide, we'll get into the tactics and impact that we have employed to meet these goals, and essentially, as Bart mentioned, began a little over a year prior to the project's approval. So I won't go through each and every activity, but the point here is to represent the depth and intentionality that has gone into identifying local, small, and diverse firms. As you can see, to date, we have participated or hosted 32 outreach events to connect to small, local, and diverse firms. We're currently utilizing 20 active organization partnerships, some of which are here to provide public comment on their partnership with us throughout this process. And lastly, for the different reporting numbers that you've received, 51 diverse small local firms, XBEs is a term that we use, are on the project to date. And we absolutely anticipate for that number to continue growing as we are still very early on in the project. Next slide. One tactic that I'd like to provide a little more insight into is outreach. So sometimes outreach can be seen as good fake effort, right? Sometimes it's not seen as a strategic approach to really maximizing participation. This slide shows you our roadmap and essentially timeline from the early works phase to every single procurement wave of bid package releases that have been associated with at least 2 outreach touch points. The intentionality is to provide firms the opportunity to know about these opportunities well in advance, to get pre-qualified, in some instances to connect directly with our project management team and identify any gaps between them working on the project and how we can assist leading up to the bid package release and bid package closing day. Next slide, please.
And so just to add a little more context, we put this slide together to answer Vice President Chavez's request to understand probably a little bit better about invoiced versus pledged versus what we're forecasting. And looking at this slide, the purple or the short bars, I should say, on the left represent invoice. So that's really just what we've paid to date. So that's a lagging indicator, obviously. And then the next one is pledged, which is as the paperwork, as we as we hire folks and put different trade contractors on board, there's a paperwork lag that happens with Schedule A's and Schedule B's. And so that really kind of represents what we've got in our paperwork kind of cachet to date, and that's pledged. And then what primarily myself and Brianna are working on is the forecasted side of the world, which that's where the strategy comes in, and what are we looking forward with breaking down packages in order to try to direct award to XB trades, things coming down the road. Also, what matchmaking are we doing with our prime contractors to date, and trying to get their participation up. And, to be perfectly honest with you, there's a couple of our large prime contractors that will, they're just kind of, we're just finishing 100% drawings. And so they're actually going to be starting the majority of their outreach. So these numbers, hopefully, and we're working hard to try to get this forecasted up so that we can get a lot closer to the goals as we go through. So that's kind of what this slide's about. And we use it for obviously forward looking, but it's also from a strategy standpoint to look at where we may or may not be short. And so that we can focus our team's effort on that. So we're trying to use this as forward-looking instead of just lagging indicators about what have we done. We want to be most interested, at least I am most interested in what are we going to be doing. So that's what this slide's about. Thank you.
Now, add a little more context. We've been working very closely, as Bart mentioned, with BCA, and more recently have come up with collaborative efforts to maximize additional participation for the sub-tier contract opportunities with our prime contractors. So we are in real time rolling that out and anticipate that will add to that forecasted number, which just to make sure is clear, that's our current forecast. This is an ongoing ongoing assignment that we're working on as we continue getting those that information and those numbers. Okay, so moving on to the PLA world. For this project, you did get that robust report out from Ian. So the point here is to showcase exactly what those percentages mean in the different hours worked by local workers, but to also showcase that as we are exceeding the local hire percentage, we're very close and on track to meeting and exceeding the transitional and local apprentice numbers as well. And that's also part of the conversations we've had with BCA about collaborative strategies moving forward to continue getting those percentages up to compliance. So similar to the BIP, for the PLA, all of our outreach is very intentional and strategic as well. On the slide, you see in the large blue box outcomes from our first outreach event in March. That was really to educate the public and notify the public that these jobs are available. And again, to give them enough time, whether they have no construction experience, to get them into a training, or if they're on the bench and ready to go, to get them connected to our contractors who are mandated to utilize local workforce. What we're anticipating for the remaining aspects or for the remaining schedule on the project are 3 peak wave times. So we partner with our leadership in the field to essentially get intel on when we're expecting the most workers on site. So technically, we haven't reached that peak yet. The first one will be in the fall. And so for every peak labor, which as we have here for every phase, there's going to be an outreach event as well. What we're currently working on right now are the outcomes from our first outreach event, which you can see in those different metrics, connecting those workers to current opportunities and queuing them up for that first peak wave in the fall. So just to give you a few other awesome metrics to account for the outcome and the impact of our efforts, we have thousands of local Angelinos or Angelinos in our database ready to work that we're currently doing real-time case management with. I want to give a huge shout out to our job coordinator team that we brought on in February, Modern Times Incorporated, who have been excellent in really being boots on the ground to work directly with our workers and getting them vetted and prepared, as well as our contract and trade partners and making sure that they are adhering and connecting with local workers. And lastly, to humanize a lot of the numbers that you've heard thrown around today, here's a few stories about Angelinos currently on the project, transitional, local, some who have gotten second chances at life, some who are starting their new career in construction after being in a totally different industry and they love it, some who are trailblazing in their family as the first woman in their family to take on a trade career. And so these are the stories that continue to fuel our team, that continue to fuel my leadership and our executive leadership. And these are the outcomes that we are going to continue producing for you all, as we don't just see this project as a project to get done by the Olympics, but a huge project to use as a catalyst for future economic impact opportunities for LA to come. So thank you for your time. On the last slide here, if you know anyone, a worker, a business, a firm that would like to get connected, our team is very responsive. And so we have a slide, we have a QR code and a link to our website. Please direct them there. We're ready to work with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Back from the tall people. Good morning. I'm Jennifer Halstead, the project executive for City of Los Angeles on this fantastic project. I typically tell you a little bit about what was accomplished for the month and what's coming up. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to repeat things that have already been said in the earlier parts of the presentation. And these 5 slides that I typically update on are areas of very strong focus for the project because there's extra effort needed to move them forward for some reason. A lot of them are just complex and require a lot of coordination, and some of them have to do with things that come up during the course of construction. On the fire life safety or the smoke control, there's an assessment going on through the month of June and expected to be finished soon that will tell us more about the existing systems in the current convention center in the South Hall and West Hall, which does not have an active system. And that then will be used to update our rational analysis and move forward towards upgrading those facilities in the existing convention center. As far as DWP or other construction work on the project, they did attain the vault for architectural and structural permits. They have been, they got approval to do an alternate design, temporary design for the 60-inch storm drain. And they began planning for hoisting during the 3rd bank hatch replacement. They relocated the domestic water service meter Transformer installation is planned for the 4th week of June, so next week. There's continuing to prepare foundation and grading for the network station and the south and the west halls. That's a overview of a lot of the activity that's going on the site. And in terms of design development and permitting, those two kind of go hand in hand, but they're expected to submit the 100% CD package the end of this week, and that would be for the building permit. And everyone on the team from the city side, the developer and the contractor are all working towards a mid-July building permit issuance. As of this report, there was ready to issue the temporary generator and Vault 4 roll-up door permits. Those are sort of more minor permits. And in progress are the fire command center, network station, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and some other ancillary smaller permit packages, specialty permit packages. And lastly, on the digital signage, the main focus right now is the contractor is receiving bids for the LED bid package so that we can look and see how those compare to budget. It's been budgeted as currently over the allowance amount. And so there's some scope discussions happening as well as seeing what the market's doing right now so that they can begin to award that. And I just wanted to say overall, project's still looking very good. You can see from the number of notice of relief claims or relief events or claims that a lot of them by number occur because of things happening underneath the surface. And that's pretty typical, as everybody probably can understand why. So the fact that the project's starting to move out of that phase, will start going vertical soon, is good for everybody because we won't be poking holes in the dirt anymore to see what we find. So it's going on as planned. I wanted to give just a tiny perspective on the schedule because, you know, we show you a very rolled up schedule, but currently the master schedule for the project, the one that tracks every little thing, has over 7,000 activities in it. And that will continue to expand because as the project moves forward, they will detail out some scheduled areas that are just shown as a particular floor or a particular geographic area or a trade or something. So there's thousands and thousands of activities to track even now. And I would expect that not every single one of those is going to be exactly on track. Not every single one of them is on the critical path either. But I just want to say that if some of those activities are impacted and need to be recovered from, I would not be surprised in the future. It's very unusual to keep right on a zero float schedule. So I would just say keep that in mind as the project moves forward. Otherwise, I would say we're doing great.
Thank you. Appreciate that context.
Recognizing we've taken a lot of time, our last slide is on key risk topics and mitigation. What we have added to this slide is a column on potential cost risk and potential schedule risk. And you can see the risk topics that have high, medium, and low potentials in each of those categories. Those categories could change as we get more information on the various risk topics, but did add that to the slide deck this month. Again, recognizing we've taken a lot of time, I'll pause here for questions should you have them.
Thank you. Before we get to commissioner questions, we are going to do public comment and then we'll come back to questions. All right. First speaker on the queue is Anastasia Zamora Ortiz.
Good morning, commissioners. Perfect. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Anastasia Zamora Ortiz. I am speaking on behalf of the Los Angeles and Orange Counties Building Construction Council Apprenticeship Readiness Fund. I am their grants administrator. Our mission is to create pathways into the union building trades for local residents, underserved communities, and individuals seeking family-sustaining careers in construction. The Los Angeles Convention Center Modernization Project has been an important part of that effort. Since the beginning of the project, PCL WebCore Joint Venture has worked closely with workforce development partners, including the Apprenticeship Readiness Fund and several of our MC3 programs throughout the region. We have been able to identify, prepare, and connect local and transitional workers to career opportunities created this project. You saw one, Haley Wilson, that's one of our participants. What has impressed us most about this is that they didn't wait until peak labor demand to begin those workforce development efforts. Instead, they invested early in building a pipeline of the future workers, supporting outreach, recruitment, and career awareness efforts designed to ensure that our local residents could access these opportunities as the project
Thank you.
grows.
That's 60 seconds.
Thank you. Next speaker is Andrew Barrera.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Andrew Barrera. I'm a procurement relationship manager with a company called PACE, Pacific Asian Consortium and Employment. We currently operate the Procure LA contract through the mayor's office. And we've been a collaborating partner on the stakeholder roundtable for maybe the last 9 months or so. We work very closely with PCL and WebCore in trying to find matchmaking contractors and minority business, women business, disabled business, veterans, and try to match them with contract opportunities. The joint venture has been very productive in outreach activities and trying to recruit qualified contract-ready companies. And so to date, we've submitted approximately 72 businesses to them. Anyways, I want to support them, and they're doing a great job.
Thank you. Next speaker is Courtney Walls.
Hi, good morning. My name is Courtney Walls. I am speaking on behalf of the Greater LA African American Chamber of Commerce, also known as GLAC, as their administrative lead. GLAC's mission is to advance economic opportunity and business growth for African American owned and diverse businesses throughout LA County. Through our partnership with the PCL WebCore joint venture, we have witnessed a project team that has gone above and beyond to create meaningful access to opportunity on the LA Convention Center Modernization Project. What has stood out most is PWJV's willingness to connect businesses directly to decision makers, estimators, buyers, project leadership, and procurement teams. Rather than relying solely on traditional outreach methods, they have been creative and intentional in identifying additional pathways for the XBE firms to engage, build relationships, and compete for work on the project. PWJV has been an active and supportive partner to GLAC, participating in our programs, engaging with our membership, and helping create opportunities for our business community. Their leadership's involvement with our organization has provided us with a unique perspective on the commitment to supplier diversity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next speaker is Rakia LeBeau.
Hello, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Rakaya LeBeau, and I am speaking on behalf of the National Association of Minority Contractors, Southern California chapter, as their Vice President. NEMC has been partnering with PCL WebCore joint venture on the Los Angeles Convention Center Modernization Project since well before the project was approved, working alongside the team for more than 2 years to identify, engage, and connect qualified small, local, and diverse businesses to upcoming opportunities. Throughout the procurement process, NEMC have served as active partners in the project's monthly stakeholder roundtables, where industry organization community partners and project leadership come together to discuss upcoming opportunities, share feedback from contracting community, and proactively address barriers facing XBE firms. We have witnessed PWJV's commitment to continuous engagement, transparency, and problem solving as they work through multiple procurement waves, pre-qualification efforts, matchmaking events, and outreach activities determined to expand access to qualified firms.
Thank you. That's 1 minute.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll close public comment on item number 14, and we'll go back to commissioner questions. Just to frame this up, we do these updates every month at the Board of Public Works, and we go into a little bit of more depth than maybe is normally seen. But, this project isn't just your average public works project. It's one of the largest public works projects in the city's history, a multi-billion-dollar modernization tied directly to a fixed, immovable deadline. And it's also a project, as we heard today, with legacy impacts that will shape not only downtown, but the city and the city's competitiveness as a tourism and convention destination for decades. And so a project of this scale does not run on just, some simple reporting. And it doesn't run on any single department working in isolation. And I think it's important for all of us, including the public, to understand how much coordinated work across many parts of city government goes into making sure that this project is held accountable every single month by this board, which approved this contract, and that where we are with this project, as a result of all that work, all those hundreds of hours that these teams are putting together, and it really does genuinely touch every single corner of city government, starting with BOE, on the day-to-day oversight, reviewing submittals and schedule claims and coordinating directly with the developer's design and the construction teams on everything. I was there a few weeks ago. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts just visually and not just behind the scenes, but also Bureau of Contract Administration, overseeing all the compliance and the business inclusion program. Our independent construction administrator is another layer of technical verification. The CLA's office and the city council are actively engaged on the policy pieces of this. That legislative coordination is incredibly critical to keeping this project on schedule as anything happening on the construction site. The CAO's office, I know, is directly engaged on tracking all the city side costs against this project. The city attorney's office providing guidance, including managing the city's own legal exposure on claims, and beyond these core teams, all the coordination with all of the other departments, DWP and fire department, building and safety, DOT, all with the mayor's office on overall project phasing and public communication. And I share all of this not to overwhelm you with all of those acronyms, but I just want to remind us all and the public to understand that it's, this is a sustained citywide effort with multiple independent checks, specifically so that a project of this size and consequence doesn't just move forward on trust alone. So thank you all for your attention on this, and we appreciate the ongoing information as we move forward on this path. With that, I'll defer to my colleagues on any questions for staff on any specific matters.
Thank you for that. It's kind of hard to add to that. We covered all the bases, but just to remind the public, I remember when this was approved and all the talk in City Hall was, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And from day one, we had 100% confidence in our bureaus to make sure that we had the right people in place. And our progress just shows that we do have the right people in place, not only in the city, but also on the private sector as well. So keep on the good work, and I look forward to seeing we have a couple red letters in here, but I'm sure they're going to get squared away when things get moving. But congratulations on keeping this project moving.
Thank you.
I would just second what Commissioner Cardenas and Vice President Chavez said. There were those at the beginning who said that
the different departments cannot collaborate together. They cannot cooperate together. And I think while it's only the second inning, 10 minutes into the 90 minutes, it's looking very good. I noticed the one area where the risks are high are the low impact ones. So I think that we're prioritizing what we want to take care of first in a sense that does not jeopardize the project. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think we will, hear another update. We appreciate the main takeaways, and we will continue to get the status progress reports on this project on a monthly basis. I know we are deviating for our normal schedule next month. We're going to have it a little bit earlier than normal, but we will see you back next month.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to head back to the agenda and restart with number 4, which is a report from Bureau of Engineering, contract award for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Cryogenics Facility Emergency Rehabilitation Project.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Coakley. I'm the project manager for this project. Oh, all right, let's see. Really high and low, there we go. All right, that's better. Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Coakley. I am the project manager for this project and the next 2 projects on the list. So starting with the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Cryogenics Facility Emergency Rehabilitation Project. We are currently requesting that the board find this project an urgent necessity and authorize a construction budget of $25 million for emergency repairs on the cryogenics facility, and authorize the city engineer to award this project to Kiewit Infrastructure West Company, which is the next available contractor on the on-call emergency repair and construction services contractors list. Some background on this project. The Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant operates one of the largest municipal cryogenic air separation facilities in the United States. The cryogenics facility produces high purity liquid oxygen that is essential to biological treatment processes used to remove remaining suspended and dissolved organics following primary treatment. The facility also produces liquid nitrogen, which is a required input to the air separation process that is necessary to sustain continuous oxygen production. The facility has been in near continuous operation for approximately 30 years, and many of its major mechanical components, control systems, and instrumentation have reached or exceeded their useful life. At present, there is no standby capacity available. Disruption in liquid oxygen or liquid nitrogen production would require immediate reliance on trucked liquid oxygen deliveries at an estimated cost of approximately $150,000 per day and would significantly impair plant operations. To address the deteriorating condition of the cryogenics facility, multiple CIPs were previously authorized by the board to rehabilitate components of the facility. These projects include CIP numbers 2523, 8205, 2533, 8188, and 8206. While these projects were approved and funded, no construction work has been initiated due to prolonged and stalled vendor negotiations, procurement challenges, and manufacturers' inability or unwillingness to accept city terms and conditions. As a result, the cryogenics facility has continued to operate in a degraded condition without the intended improvements and repairs being implemented. Given the escalating risk of system failure and operational criticality of the cryogenics facility, the Bureau of Engineering and LA Sanitation staff determined that immediate emergency action was required. To expedite the delivery and reduce risk, the Bureau of Engineering and LA Sanitation staff elected to consolidate the scopes of the previously approved cryogenics facility projects into a single emergency project. This consolidated project includes a transfer of the previously indicated projects, as well as additional scope necessary to rehabilitate the facility. The Bureau of Engineering manages contracts for the on-call emergency repair and construction services contractors. Under the guidelines for the on-call list, the contractors are rotated to the bottom once they have been authorized to perform work or if they decline a project. The Bureau of Engineering is authorized to solicit work from the contractor at the top of the list. Board President King was briefed on this project via email by Bureau of Engineering staff on November 6, 2025, and emergency authorization was granted for the project on that same day. The project is being delivered through the on-call emergency repair and construction services contract and was awarded to the contractor at the top of the on-call list, which is Kiewit, on November 6th. The total estimated cost of the work, including contingency, is estimated at $25 million with a construction duration of approximately 36 months. So any questions on that?
Colleagues, questions? Commissioner Cardenas, no? Okay. All right, do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, we have a first by Commissioner President Pro Tem Grant and a second by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 4, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 4 is approved and will move forward forthwith.
Okay. Looks like you're presenting our next item.
Yep.
All right. Number 5, request for authorization for the capital improvement project 8220 Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Technical Support Facility. 6th floor stair repair project. That's a mouthful. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you for saying the title for me. I'll just pass on that part and go straight to what we're asking for, which is to authorize the city engineer to use the construction services contract, Cisco, and issue task work orders to the contractor for an amount not to exceed $692,000 for this project. Some background on the project. The technical support facility at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant is used by Information and Control Systems Division, LA Sanitation, and the Bureau of Engineering. There are 3 sets of emergency exit stairwells that connect to every floor from the roof to the ground level. The 6th floor stairs on the north side of the technical support facility connecting to the roof are currently displaying severe signs of corrosion and concrete damage. The staircase currently poses a safety hazard to plant personnel as it is near failure. The other 2 of the 3 stairwells were also looked at and determined to be in acceptable condition, so it's just the one that is declining. So this project, the proposed scope is to repair the north side staircase and landings leading to the roof by removing and replacing 2 damaged landings, removing and replacing 2 damaged staircases, repairing the damaged concrete in the area, and repairing the drain system and related piping. So it is recommended that the board authorize the use of Cisco and authorize the city engineer to issue task work orders to the contractor for an amount not to exceed $692,000 for this project. Any questions on that one?
Colleagues, questions? Commissioner Cardenas?
Yes. What was the cause of the damage to the stairwell? Was that in the report?
Yeah, $692,000.
No, the cause of the damage.
Oh,
What
the cause. Yeah. So the stairs lead out out to the roof, and there's no door or anything closing the elements from getting in.
So it's the ocean air that got to him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks.
Mhm.
All right, seeing no further questions, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first by Commissioner Cardenas and a second by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 5, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 5 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Okay, and then your third item, number 6, construction budget and order Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Truck Loading Facility Project.
All right, so for this project, we are requesting the following: to find the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Truck Loading Facility Project an urgent necessity and authorize a construction budget of $5,760,280 for the emergency replacement of the live bottom feeders and repairs of the building. and also authorize the city engineer to advertise and award this project off the on-call emergency repairs and construction services at the city's wastewater treatment plants and other wastewater facilities contract in compliance with the established procedures. Some background on this project: the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant truck loading facility is essential for storing and transporting Class A biosolids for land application. Built in the late 1980s and upgraded in 1992, the truck loading facility features 4 loading bays with 8 100-ton capacity silos, 2 silos per bay. The facility utilizes 1 live bottom screw feeder per silo to facilitate the transfer of biosolids into the loading trucks to transport biosolids offsite. The plant currently faces 2 significant challenges regarding this building. One is the live bottom feeders are coming to the end of their useful life and are breaking down, so they all require replacement at this time. And the other is moisture and chemicals from a former rooftop chemical scrubbing unit infiltrated the ceiling and walls through roof cracks, resulting in rusted rebar, extensive internal and external wall cracking, and concrete spalling. Concrete repairs are required to halt additional structural decay within the building. So those are the 2 major items. Any loss of the truck loading facility functionality would cause significant service interruptions to the plant's solids processing operations, resulting in a severe impact on the overall plant performance. The scope of work for this project includes replacing the 8 live bottom screw feeder assemblies and associated appurtenances, assessing the condition of the 8 silos that feed those bottom feeders. So once the bottom feeders are taken off, we'll have access to be able to see what's going on inside the silos, which is really the only time we would have that sort of access. So while we're in there, we're going to do a structural assessment and make sure that those silos are in good condition. If we find that they're not, that would be handled with a separate project because it would be quite a large project. So that, and then we will also be performing the critical structural repairs to the ceiling and roofing material at the building. On August 27, 2025, bids for this project were solicited from contractors on the emergency on-call list. On October 17, 2025, 3 bids were received, of which Myers & Sons Construction was the low bidder. We are recommending the award of the project to Myers & Sons Construction in the amount of $5,485,981 with a not-to-exceed limit of $5,760,280, which includes contingency. Any questions on that one?
Questions, colleagues? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 6, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant. Aye. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
All right. And I think
Thank you
that's
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, item number 7, Bureau of Sanitation, request for authority, TRC Solutions.
Good morning, Commissioners, Counselor. My name is Pamela Perez. I'm the Marketing Manager for LA Sanitation and Environment. Thank you for having me here today. I'm here to request the approval of Amendment Number 2 for TOS S045. This is simply an extension of the end date of the contract. There are no other changes. Just as a reminder, I'll go through just a few brief slides to give you an idea of what we have accomplished thus far. This contract began in February 2025. It should have ended April 30th, 2026, and we are requesting to extend this contract until September 30th. The reason for the additional time is simply because we are translating campaign materials into 16 different languages, and unfortunately those translations proved to be a bit more lengthy and complicated than originally anticipated. So if this amendment is approved, the work will get started again very quickly and commence in July to end in August. Just a review of the tasks that have been accomplished thus far. We have finished our food stylist photography, which yielded hundreds of photos, as well as a wonderful video that's on YouTube that explains the life cycle of food waste. We also conducted focus groups and street team research, which have given us the information that we needed from the participants of the program and non-participants of the program to understand what they need in order to work with us on SB 1383 implementation and to have green bin service at their residents and their businesses. We've also produced display materials and promotional materials and created a branding guide, which also then resulted in messaging and graphic design. The two items that are left to be completed are phase 3 out of the 3 phases of our paid advertising campaign and the execution of the media strategy. The languages that we ran the online campaign in are on the right-hand side of the slide. Before I go into the advertising campaign, I just want to give you an idea of what the media strategy will look like for this campaign. The media strategy will be the contractor pitching to media all of the things that the city has done to date to help educate the public about SB 1383 and really their role in the city's implementation. So helping them understand how to separate their food waste and their organics from their standard waste, how to use a kitchen pail, the green bin, a Slim Jim within a restaurant. So this media strategy will explain everything that we've done thus far and also show some metrics to show what we have achieved in this time. So this is just a sample of part 1 of the campaign, which focused on helping people understand why we're doing this and what happens to these food scraps. This is a sample of part 2 of the campaign topic. So we wanted people to understand that it's not just the carrot tops and the onion skins from their meal prep, but also the after meal cleanup, scraping those leftovers into the pail to go into the green bin. Parents working with their children and teaching them how this works so that we're getting the future generations involved. And also not forgetting about our morning coffee grounds and coffee filters, which most people wouldn't necessarily think of. When we put this campaign together, we put a lot of thought into not just multicultural, but multi-generational living. So as you can see, the photos and the videos that we took, we did hire, or the contractor hired models for this, and we tried to represent LA's great diversity, not only again in culture, but also in age. And this is just a simple slide to show you what we have accomplished with the campaign. So part 1 had 22 videos and 58 ads, resulting in 18.7 million impressions, 83,000 clicks, and 9.1 million video plays. Part 2 of the campaign, which was when to use the green bin, had 50 videos and 73 ads with 29.7 million impressions, 88,000 clicks, and 10.8 million video plays. Also notable is that on YouTube, the full 90-second video of the life cycle of the food scraps has had over 20,000 views and has been watched for over 172 hours by the public. One of the most notable parts of the campaign to me is that we saw very, very high interaction with residents speaking Bengali, Khmer, Thai, Farsi, and Arabic. And the comments that I saw were inspiring residents who were saying, and businesses saying, wow, I can't believe the city of Los Angeles is speaking to me in my language. And that caused them to take those ads and share them out with their friends and family, which just helped to amplify the voice of the campaign. That concludes my presentation. Are there any questions that I may answer for you?
Thank you, especially those comments from the different languages. As we talked before, I look forward in October seeing the results of how many more full green bins are getting picked up because everybody's using it. So those metrics of actually how successful this campaign has been.
There are waste characterizations that are scheduled to be conducted. And during those waste characterizations, as the trucks come up to the transfer station, the load would be dropped on the floor. Somebody would look at that, do an assessment of what the trash on the floor looks like versus maybe what the other commodity truck might look like. I'm not quite sure whether I'm not operations, but I'm not sure if they look at the trucks containing trash or whether they look at the trucks containing organics. But somebody does look at that, see what's on the floor, make an assessment as to the percentage of contamination within that load, and they continue that. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, for how many days they do that, but that's how we determine our success with these programs. So I know that one was conducted before the launch of the program, and I believe they are scheduled to happen again soon, and we would be happy to share that data when we have it. Thank you for your question.
All right, any more questions, colleagues? Just a quick question. I know just as part of this, the initial segment of this contract, you discuss all the additional content that was created. Will any of this information be integrated into the city's zero waste training modules? Because I know those, city employees have to undergo that. Can we use any of that for the training?
Thank you. That's a very great question. And honestly, I hadn't put any thought into that. Yes, I have made all of the photos and the videos available to my colleagues at Sanitation, as well as to our Public Affairs office here in Public Works. So everyone does have access to utilize those. I've also placed all of the information from the focus groups into a shared drive that staff can go in and watch the focus groups, those that were recorded. They can listen to them, they can read the transcripts, so you can take in the information in any format that may make sense for you. Additionally, we have that for the business focus groups as well. So
great.
everyone does have access, and now I'm going to go back to the office and check with my colleagues to see if there's going to be follow-up on those zero waste sessions, because I think that the information gleaned from this would be very helpful. We also took all of the street team information and provided that to our Recicla team, who then provided it to the Recicla service providers so that they could follow up with each individual business that was visited and work with them individually to help them overcome the challenges that they're experiencing and participating in the program.
Great, thank you. And also, can I make a request that you share any public-facing Organic Soleil campaign material with the board as well, so we can share it with, folks of the communities that we interact with? It'd be great to have that information.
Certainly, I would be happy to do that. And all of the public-facing information, of course, is also on our social media channels at LA City San for the public to enjoy and share.
Perfect. Thank you so
I'm
much.
sorry, I missed one fact, and that was that the funding for this contract comes from CalRecycle, from a grant from CalRecycle. So this contract, valued at $1,715,000, was funded. $1.2 million of that was funded by CalRecycle grant funds, with the other $515,000 funded by Recicla educational funds.
Great, thank you for that. Colleagues, do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, VP Chavez. We will take a roll call vote on approval of item 7, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 7 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, which is a joint report by Bureau of Street Services and Bureau of Engineering. It's task order solicitation number 201 for SOMAS.
Good morning. My name is Brian An. I'm with Bureau of Street Services. For this report, we are requesting authority to issue the task force solicitation number 201 to SOMAS from the pre-qualified on-call list to provide engineering support services for the Connecting Canoga Park Active Transportation Project with a budget authority of $3,921,000, which includes contingency. Just to give you a little background on the project, this project is located along several corridors in the heart of Canoga Park in the city of Los Angeles. The focus of the proposed improvements will span along several corridors, which include Sherman Way, Owens Mouth Avenue, Valeria Street, Burial Avenue, and Orange Line Trail. This project is an implementation of California Transportation Commission's Active Transportation Grant to transform streets within the Canoga Park community. And then also just to give you the total cost for the project is currently the total cost project is estimated at $38.6 million. Again, this task order is to provide consultant services for project design, including preparation of plans, specifications, and estimates for the project. And also would like to let you know that on the process, this task order solicitation was originally advertised on December 5th, 2024 to all pre-qualified consulting firms, but we only received one proposals from one consultant, WSP USA. Since due to a lack of competitive bids received, this task order solicitation was re-advertised for a second time on October 20th, 2025. But unfortunately, we only received, once again, received one proposal. It was solicited to, it was advertised to the all pre-qualified on-call list, but only one proposal was submitted by SOMAS. Street Satellite staff interviewed the project teams from SOMAS, and then also upon evaluation, the SOMAS demonstrated a strong comprehensive understanding of the scope and showed the familiarity with the city's procedure and practices. City and SOMAS negotiated the fee proposal and agreed on a base task amount of $3,732,699.88 with a contingency of $188,300.12 for a total budget authority of $3,921,000. The lack of additional proposals, combined with the critical time constraints of the project, which necessitate the moving forward with a sole responsive and responsible proposer to ensure timely execution of the project and avoid delays. This task is federally funded and will be subjected to the requirement of the U.S. Department of Transportation Title 49 of the Code of Federal Regulation and Caltrans DB program. Just a little bit background on the funding. This project is funded by the ATP grant and City's Prop C local match fund. The transportation grant funds will cover the participating cost of $2,935,915, while the remaining cost of $985,085 will be supplemented by City's local match fund. This concludes my reports. Please let me know if there are any questions.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions? Just stating the obvious here, I know you had to do 2 solicitations for this, and both times it was advertised to everyone on the pre-qualified list, and we only got one respondent on both rounds.
Correct.
And I'm just curious, does either Streets LA or BOE track why these pre-qualified list firms decline to bid, whether it's workload, scope risk, fee structure, do we track why?
Because of this project is federally funded, and we have to follow federal and state guidelines, and we have to establish pre-qualified on-call lists. And again, my understanding was that at the time when we released the TOS, it may be that there was a lot of opportunities for these on-call consultants, and my understanding is that they made a business decision that not to pursuing this task order from the list.
Okay, but you're speculating. I'm asking if either does Streets LA or BOE track reasons, like do you do a follow-up survey or something to?
We have not. We rely on the Ramp LA just to
Ramp
re-advertise.
LA. Does Ramp LA issue like a documented
It's-
survey? Like why
right.
didn't you bid? Do we
Yes.
have that data?
I'm sorry?
Do we keep that data?
Yes, my understanding is that we could, there is a data within the Ramp LA. When we go after advertising, it goes advertised to all pre-qualified on-call lists established. And depending on, my understanding is that they get the notification from the Ramp LA with a title of the project. And my understanding is that it shows a scope of the project. So at that point, I don't want to speculate, but the
Okay,
firms.
I think that might be a good kind of follow-up report just to understand, just from a records strategy, what are some process barriers, what are some of the reasons why we don't have folks bidding that are on the pre-qualified list on some of these things. It would just be good information from a decision maker standpoint, just to see if there's trends, have a staff analysis, maybe come back with a preliminary analysis, maybe with even some suggestions on things that we can be doing on a go-forward basis would be really helpful. Because right now we just don't know.
Yes, it's again, we have to follow the federal and state
course, I
guidelines,
understand.
and because there is certain guidelines required for them to follow. So again, we're gonna work with BOE to see what has happened, but again, I'm not speculating. At the time that was the TOS was released, there may have been other opportunities available for them to pursue that, for other project opportunities other than this project. So
Understood. Well, this board sees, this is not the first time we've seen this kind of lack of responsiveness. That's why I'm asking the question. All right, thank you so much. With that, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 8, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 8 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have 2 items from BCA. We have items number 9 and items number 10. First is project labor agreement for the 67th Street and West Boulevard Improvements Project, followed by number 10, which is the project labor agreement, Advanced Transportation System and Coordination Fiber Upgrade Installation Project.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Yevgenia Varakhanyan, and I'm with the Bureau of Contract Administration, Office of Contract Compliance, and I'm the assigned analyst for this project. The Bureaus of Contract Administration and Engineering jointly recommend that the Board of Public Works to add the Department of Public Works Project Labor Agreement, PLA, to the 67th Street and West Boulevard Civil Improvements Project. The project is located in both the cities of Los Angeles and Inglewood, starting at 67th Street from 11th Avenue to West Boulevard and along West Boulevard, from 67th Street to 71st Street. The portion of the project within the city of Los Angeles is within the boundaries of Council District Number 8. The city engineer has estimated a total construction cost of $8,152,697. The 67th Street and West Boulevard Civil Improvements Project will include but not be limited to sidewalk improvements, curb ramp upgrades, driveway approach reconstructions, resurfacing, tree pruning, curb and gutter reconstruction along 67th Street and West Boulevard. Traffic signal upgrades will also be performed at the 67th Street and West Boulevard intersection and along West Boulevard between 67th Street and 71st Street. This project was advertised on June 17th. The pre-bid meeting was held yesterday on June 23rd, during which I presented the project labor agreement requirements to the contractors in attendance. The bid receipt date for this project is July 22nd. The PLA provides numerous benefits to the city, including helping to ensure quality work is completed on time and within budget, ensuring work is done safely by utilizing skilled workers with a commitment to training and facilitating and orderly settlement of labor disputes without strikes or other work stoppages. The PLA will also help ensure the maximum economic benefit is achieved for the city's residents and communities. Based on the average of 13 jobs per 1 million of project costs for completed PLA covered projects, this project could potentially generate 106 jobs and continued career opportunities. Adding the PLA will also guarantee that the project's construction work will include specific targets for hiring local residents, including apprentices and transitional workers with barriers to employment, such as homelessness, veteran status, and criminal history. These targeted hiring mandates within the PLA are actively monitored by BCA's Office of Contract Compliance. Thus, the PLA addition is recommended to the 67th Street and West Boulevard Civil Improvements Project. Thank you for your time and consideration to this item, and I'll be happy to help with any questions you may have.
Questions? President Grant?
I just want to thank the Bureau for its attentiveness to this issue and ensuring that it was the follow-up and it was added on both these projects.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. And is there a motion?
So move. Second.
All right, we have a motion by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 9, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 9 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on item number 10, I understand the similar, but the numbers and the specifics are slightly different in terms of the benefits and the job numbers.
Good morning. My name is Julia Basanti, and I'm with the Bureau of Contract Administration. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Julia Basanti, and I'm with the Bureau of Contract Administration, and I will be the analyst assigned to this project. I'm here today to recommend the Board of Public Administration approve the addition to the project labor agreement to the Advanced Transportation System and Coordination Fiber Upgrade Installation Project. The project was advertised on June 10th, and I attended the pre-bid meeting last week on June 16th, where I discussed the potential issuance of the addendum to incorporate the PLA to the project. The bids are currently due on July 15th. The project sites are located throughout various streets through the City of Los Angeles. The city's engineer estimated the construction cost at $5,937,552. The proposed project involves repairing and upgrading a fiber optic communication network throughout the City of Los Angeles by installing conduit and new fiber cables along 10 critical paths connecting existing traffic communication hubs. These essential upgrades are intended to restore fiber and add backhaul paths, bringing the ATSAC and City of Los Angeles Traffic Management Center infrastructure into a state of good repair. The paths are critical to strengthening the network, providing redundancy for efficient traffic management, ensuring successful mobility across the city for the Games Road networks, game-enhanced transit systems, and approaches to the venues in preparation for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics and Paralympic Games. The PLA also helps maximize economic benefits generated by city construction projects. This project could potentially generate approximately 77 jobs while creating ongoing career opportunities for workers in the region. In addition, the PLA establishes targeted hiring goals for local residents, including apprentices, transitional workers who face barriers of employment, such as individuals experiencing homelessness, veterans, and persons with prior involvement in our justice system. These hiring requirements are actively monitored by BCA, Office of Contract Compliance, to ensure compliance and accountability. The PLA provides numerous Benefits to the city, including helping ensuring quality of work is completed on time within budget, ensuring the work is performed safely by a skilled and trained workforce, and facilitating orderly resolution of any labor disputes without strikes or work stoppages. For these reasons, BCA recommends the addition of the project labor agreement to Advanced Transportation Systems and Coordination Fiber Upgrade Installation Project. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 10, starting with you, Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 10 is adopted. We'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item number 11, which is a report from Bureau of Sanitation and Contract Administration, request for authority for NS Corporation.
All right. Good morning, Vice President Chavez and other distinguished members of the board, City Attorney Rep and Executive Officer. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Timothy Huang with Los Angeles Sanitation and Environment, and I requested this briefing to seek approval to forward this report with transmittals to the Mayor and Council with the request that the Board of Public Works be authorized to execute a service contract for repair and maintenance services for automated vehicle wash facilities located in 3 sanitation yards: East Valley, West Valley, and South Los Angeles. A little bit of background. So LA San is responsible for collecting refuse, yard trimmings, recyclables, horse manure, dead animals, bulky items, and other special waste from approximately 750,000 households citywide. A fleet of more than 800 heavy-duty solid resources collection vehicles are operated to collect these materials. Approximately 447 solid resources collection vehicles are operated out of East Valley, West Valley, and South Los Angeles. Therefore, the facilities are critical to maintain vehicle cleanliness, mitigating vehicle odor complaints, and demonstrating exemplary stewardship of city resources and equipment. And pivoting to the RFP, so on July 28th, 2025, the board authorized LA San to distribute requests for proposals to interview, select, and negotiate with the most qualified proposer, and to return to the board for authority to award and execute a contract to perform repair and maintenance services for automated vehicle wash facilities. Our current contract with EST companies expires on September 14th, 2026, and a new contract is needed in order to continue these services. So in short, 2 proposals were received by the submission deadline, one from EST companies, the incumbent contractor, and one from NS Corporation. LA San and BCA determined that both proposers satisfied BIP outreach requirements, and the technical proposals were evaluated and scored by a 5-member evaluation panel consisting of LA San Solid Resources personnel. Proposals were evaluated in accordance with the criteria established in the RFP, and based on the evaluation results, NS Corporation was determined to provide the best value to the city. As a result, we recommend awarding the contract to NS Corporation. The contract is for 5 years with a 1 5-year renewal option, and the total contract amount is $1.4 million. Thank you for your time, and I welcome any questions and directions that you may have on how to move forward.
Thank you. Colleagues, questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 11, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 11 is adopted, and we'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Next order of business, number 12, which is from Bureau of Street Services and Bureau of Contract Administration, request for authority for the recycling and/or disposal services of clean and mixed inert debris, clean and mixed construction and demolition debris, bulky items, white goods, and mixed debris.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Martha Iniguez, representing the Bureau of Street Services.
Can you speak directly into the microphone, please? Thank you.
In September of last year, this board authorized the advertisement of the RFP. And proposals were originally due back in October of 2025, but a 1-week extension was granted. A total of 4 proposals were received by the October 22nd deadline. Proposals were received from California Waste Services, Athens Services, Waste Management, and Cordova Construction Services. The RFP included a request for bulky items, disposal of bulky items such as furniture, white goods, as well for recycling, such as household appliances. Generally, these items are not picked up by Streets LA, but they were included in the RFP should there be a need for Streets LA to assist sanitation after a disaster. None of the proposals included a bid for the white goods recycling. Since the Bureau rarely, if ever, needs to remove household metal appliances to complete their work on streets and sidewalks, not having a vendor to recycle white goods will not impact the Bureau's operations. An evaluation committee of 6 reviewed the proposals and scored them. Both California Waste Services and Athens received 6 additional local business preference points. The scores for each are as follows: California Waste Services, 80.7, Athens, 82, Waste Management, 92.3, and Cordova, 59.7. Now, Cordova's low score was due to not having contracting history with the city of Los Angeles and because they only had 1 location. Cordova is a certified minority-owned business located in CD7, and all of their employees, a total of 60, reside within the city of Los Angeles. Since Streets LA is committed to providing opportunities to small businesses, and because we need access to as many facilities as possible, we are recommending that the board approve contracts to all 4 proposers. These vendors will not be collecting or picking up debris. City crews will be delivering the debris to the vendors for processing, recycling, or disposal. The type of debris these vendors accept and the proximity to our work locations will determine which facilities the debris will be delivered to. All facilities will be required to be licensed by the state of California, abide by all city, state, federal laws and regulations, including those of Cal OSHA and AQMD. Now, the following information that I'm going to be providing was requested by President Khan, and I see that he's not here, but I'm going to go ahead and present it to the board anyway. In March of 2010, the City Council approved Council File 09-3029. It requires that all mixed C&D waste generated within the city limits be taken to a city-certified C&D waste processor. All haulers and contractors responsible for handling C&D waste must obtain a private waste hauler permit from LA Sanitation prior to collecting, hauling, and transporting CD waste. And CD waste can only be taken to city-certified CD processing facilities. Haulers and contractors not complying with these policies can be fined up to $5,000 per load. California currently requires a minimum diversion rate of 65% for construction and demolition debris. However, the city, working through the LA Sanitation, requires facilities to divert a minimum of 70% and to be city-certified construction and demolition waste processors. Facilities not meeting the 70% minimum risk having sanitation remove their certification. Examples of C&D debris are concrete, asphalt, brick, dirt, wood waste, wallboard, scrap metal, and other material. All C&D waste processors are required to submit their diversion rate totals monthly to LA Sanitation. Sanitation post C&D processors achieve diversion rates on their website. However, those rates include all C&D waste the vendors have received, including those from private companies as well as from the city. The diversion percentages are as follows, as posted on sanitation's website. California Waste Services, 81% average between their two facilities. Athens Services, 82.28 at their Sun Valley facility. Cordova Construction, 76.2%. Waste management has provided specific data just for BSS because they do monitor that information, and their data is from 2021 to 2025. The total average is 81.14%, and that's again just for street services materials. Inert debris consists of concrete, asphalt, sand, gravel, soil, bricks, and like material. Asphalt removed from city streets are taken to an asphalt plant to create recycled asphalt concrete and used to repave the streets. Any unusable asphalt grindings not reused in that repaving process, including soil and other inerts, will be taken to one of these vendors that accepts inert debris. As reported by the vendors and confirmed by sanitation, virtually 100% of clean and mixed inert is diverted from landfills and used as road or construction base, or used at the landfill as alternative daily cover to suppress odors, control litter, deter pests, or as winter deck material to provide stability for trucks at the landfill. Inert material used at landfills is not buried in the landfill. It is beneficially used at the landfill, mainly for safety purposes. All four vendors surpassed the city's minimum CD diversion rate of 70%. Due to the specialized nature of these services and the absence of subcontracting opportunities, the BIP was waived. Additionally, the city doesn't own recycling or disposal facilities, which makes these contracts necessary. The prior recycling and disposal contracts expired December 31st of 2025, but both Athens and Waste Management agreed through a ratification clause to continue to provide services and forgo payment of invoices until the new contracts are executed. So their contracts will effectively begin as of January 1st, 2026, once they are executed. California Waste Services and Cordova contracts will be effective as of the date of execution. The contracts will each be for a term of 5 years, with 2 5-year renewal options and an optional 6-month extension. The estimated annual usage across all 4 contracts is 14 million. Also, Waste Management has graciously offered to provide the board tours to their facilities to see and better understand their recycling procedures. That concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any questions, comments? I had a couple questions. Can you clarify for me, I understand this is, we are approving 4 different contracts for 5 years, 2 5-year renewals with a 6-month extension for up to 15 and a half years. There's a $14 million amount here. That's across all 4 contracts, correct?
Across all 4, correct.
Okay. Can you explain then why the 4 contracts here carry individual cost ceiling?
The contracts specifically state that these are as-needed services and may not reach that limit.
Okay. So we are approving a cost ceiling, but can you just explain some of kind of the thinking of why? I mean, has there been past instances where there's
It depends
need
on where
or
we're
just in
working
case?
and how close we are to those facilities. So we would be guessing at the point where we would have to basically guess where we're going to work 5 years into the future, and that's hard to do. So we can't really adjust the total ceiling cost unless we could see 5 years in advance where we're going to be and what possible facilities we're going to use. So rather than trying to figure that out, we just put 14 million across the board. We're definitely not going to use that amount or reach that amount. So the contractors, if they don't reach that amount, say we've renewed the contracts into 10 or the 15th year, we'll probably not have to have those contracts amended. But a larger contractor like Waste Management that has like 6 facilities, we may use more, and we may have to, in the future, amend their contract to renew it into additional 5-year terms.
Okay. So,
it's
but the ceilings are all different. So can you speak to that? Because what you just said sort of contradicts something that I'm noticing here. Just
if the ceilings are different, that is probably an error on our side.
okay, because we have 2 of them that have $17.5 million ceilings, and then 2 of them that have a $70 million ceiling. So I'm just trying to reconcile that.
Then that is that's my fault.
Was that an
They
error?
should all be 14 million, not to exceed 14 million, and that will be corrected.
Okay. So that can that correction be made today, that clarification
Absolutely.
in those contracts? Because I know it has to go for further review and approval because these are in excess of the board's authority that will be going to council as well.
Yes, and we'll forward it to you right away. Thank you for catching that.
Okay. All right, I don't have anything else. So we'll, if someone would like to make, I'll make a motion with that correction.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. And so we have a first by Vice President Chavez and a second by Commissioner Cardenas. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 12 as amended, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. And this item is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
All right, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving to number 13, which is report from BOE and BCA contract award for the Valley Plaza Park North Stormwater Capture Project.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Roshan Akbarjaman, Bureau of Engineering, Clean Water Division. BOE and BCA are here today to request that the board declare Los Angeles Engineering, Inc., LAE, second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award LAE a contract for the Valley Plaza Park North Stormwater Capture Project in the amount of $32,599,000. The project is located in the East San Fernando Valley in Council District 2. This project consists of installing a 2-acre underground infiltration gallery to capture and infiltrate stormwater and recharge the San Fernando groundwater basin. Runoff will be collected from approximately an 833-acre tributary area and diverted into the infiltration gallery with an estimated average yield of up to 398 acre-feet per year, which is equivalent to 130 million gallons. Construction of the underground infiltration gallery will include installation of a diversion structure, storm drain pipes, a pump station, flow measuring devices, new irrigation landscape restoration, and educational signage. The contract duration is 705 calendar days from the notice to proceed. Regarding bid reviews, 7 bids were received for this project, with the lowest bid submitted by Toro Enterprises, Inc., Toro, for an amount of $31,899,625. This is 37.25% lower than the city engineer's estimate, which was $50,838,000. The second lowest bid was submitted by LAE for an amount of $32,599,000, which is 35.88% lower than the city engineer's estimate. After evaluating the bids, the Bureau of Contract Administration, BCA, verified that the apparent second low bidder, LAE, is certified LB, Local Business Enterprise. And LAE became the first low bidder for bid evaluation purposes. After the local business preference, monetary preference, of which cannot exceed $1 million, was applied. This puts LAE's bid at the amount of $31,599,000, and it will be 37.84% lower than the city engineer's estimate. LAE has worked on numerous contracts issued by the board, and no significant or unresolved problems in inspection, contract compliance, or bidder responsibility have been experienced by BCA. Regarding the business inclusion program, the project was advertised with anticipated participation levels, and LAE pledged participation levels for minority and women business enterprises, and complied with the BIP outreach requirements of the bid. They also complied with the 25% mandatory subcontracting minimum MSM requirement, and they're pledging 40.14%. In conclusion, staff recommends that the board declare LAE the apparent second low bidder, who became the first low bidder after the LBP was applied, to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award LAE the contract for this project. In terms of funding, the total construction budget is $35,858,900, which includes a 10% contingency of $3,259,900. This project is funded by LADWP, leveraging funds from the Measure W Safe Clean Water Program and California Department of Transportation, Caltrans. That concludes my presentation, and we have staff from BOE and BCA here available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Colleagues, do we have any questions on this project? Significant project. Very exciting to see this move forward, so I'm supportive of this. I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
I did, thank you. We have a motion by myself and a second by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 13, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 13 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Knight, is that conclude our items for today?
Yes, it does, Vice President Chavez.
Thank you. And with that, our next regularly scheduled meeting is this Friday, June 26th, and we will adjourn today's meeting at 12:15 p.m. Thank you.